Welcome to Smoke and Strategy, where cigars meet hustle, heritage meets vision, and real conversations light up real business. I am Duncan Echevarria, your cigar consultant, brand builder, and author of the Cigar Business Blueprint. And in this podcast, we go beyond the smoke. Every week, I'm bringing you unfiltered insight into the cigar industry and the bold strategies that build legacies. From the rollers to the retailers, from the farms to the boardroom, we'll talk partnerships, product launches, brand identity, and what it really takes to thrive in a niche market that's built on passion. This isn't just talk, this is smoke and strategy, and you're invited to the table. Follow now and light up your next move. Okay. So it's been interesting today, and I'll tell you what's going on. I got here and setting up in my office for this, video. And for some odd reason, the main screen where I have my camera set up and basically, the one that I'm always kind of sort of facing, just to give me a better, I guess, control, if you will, of how I'm reacting, how I'm looking, all of the above, things that I guess are important, to be brutally honest, when it comes to, doing these videos, doing these podcasts, making sure that you don't look like a lunatic, right? Well, that screen was not working. I don't know why. It just said, not happening today, buddy. Not today. So I had to immediately pivot, figure things out, and say to myself, it's going to happen. It's a yes or yes. It's going to happen. So figure it out, get it done. And here we are. I may occasionally look that way. If I do that, that means that I'm looking at one of my other screens. I operate with four. I prefer that because I can really do a lot simultaneously, whether I'm working for one of my clients, I'm working on a project. I have one with my emails, I have one with, AI stuff going on. So it just becomes a lot more fun and functional. Yeah, I did say fun. I enjoy being able to do that. Um, I think it's kind of cool to be able to, like, at a glance see all the stuff that you're involved with, that you're working on. But this brought me back to a great memory, if you will, when I was just recently arrived in the great state of North Carolina. And I think I've said this to a lot of folks. I've said this in interviews before. I believe, my intrinsic natural abilities and knowledge of what I thought I knew about the cigar industry and the culture and the history and whatnot, you know, I'm a I'm the guy, right? And so I was doing things, setting them up with no redundancies, no backups, no way to, if something failed immediately, continue the process or continue the work. Um, there was nothing set up to catch me if I failed or if I fell. Um, that was scary a few minutes ago, rethinking about that again. I honestly look back on those days as some of the most educational of my life. I'm 53 years old. Some of you guys know I'm former military. I've had some great jobs in the past. I've been an interior designer in Miami. I've traveled to a lot of different countries for this industry. I mean, I've done quite a bit. I really like to say that I'm a bit of a jack of all trades when it comes to, certain, industries, if you will. I've learned a lot in interior design. I learned a lot when I, was working with my dad in landscaping. So, I mean, I love that. I loved interior design. I had a gallery as well in Miami. So I thoroughly enjoyed that so much. I've had some great jobs that brought me a ton of satisfaction, and I had to learn a lot of them on the fly. I had to learn a lot of them without any net to catch me. But I think that the one that really impacted me the most was, when I wanted to dedicate myself to just cigar retail, to just this industry. Um, Talk about literally no net. I'm 30 stories above the ground, and I'm thinking, how hard could this be? I got this, not a problem. But before I continue with this, story of how in the heck did I even get through some of the stuff that happened to me, the fun thing is that it's in the book, so you guys will read. I think it's the first part of it, the first few pages. I think it's 4, 5, 6 pages, who knows, that are really about a time in my life which I have no idea how I got through it. I really don't. I'm going to get into that a little bit today. A couple other different things that I want to talk about as well, because I know we talked about in the past couple of videos about a setup for a small cigar shop. Last video we talked about um, a lounge concept environment. Also, at the end, I touched upon the discovery of what is your why. Uh, Very important, very, very important. I'm going to touch upon that again today. And now it's time for me to tell you what insanely awesome smoke I'm going to enjoy while I do this with you guys, right? So, this is the Arturo Fuentes Don Carlos Eye of the Shark. If you notice all the correct pronunciation and inflections in the Spanish names, Arturo Fuentes Don Carlos Eye of the Shark. An absolutely beast of a smoke. Just had some notes. I'm gonna looking slightly off camera. I got a picture of one here. I think you guys can catch that a little bit better right there. And it's a really, really beautiful cigar. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about it. So, the Arturo Fuente Don Carlos Eye of the Shark box pressed is a unique cigar. If you look in this picture right there, it's got a little bit of a torpedo shape. So you're looking at a marriage of two interesting and unique formats, box press, torpedo shape, right? I absolutely love this. It's a unique way of, I guess, creating a cigar that automatically catches your attention. It will do that regardless, because to me, there's just something about the Fuente cigar lines that are absolutely flawless. I know I am very partial to Arturo Fuente cigars. I absolutely love them. I love anything that is done by that company. I believe that they're an amazing company because they understand their why. And I will get into that in a little bit. There are some companies out right now that are in the industry. Let me say it like that, that are in the industry that will succeed, have succeeded, will succeed, and will continue to succeed because they have understood their why, as opposed to just saying their what. This is what. This is the product. Um, so let me see what else I got here. This is crafted, of course, by the late, may his soul rest in peace, Carlos Fuente Sr. It's vintage Dominican tobacco. If I wrote this here, and I'm gonna scroll down real quick to my notes. Um, yeah, this is actually, the wrapper is something that near and dear, because I love, absolutely love, country of origin, true Cameroon wrapper. And of course, that only comes from the Mirafels. Jeremiah Mirafel and his family has had business dealings with the Fuentes forever. Um, this is such great quality Cameroon that, one, if you're a fan of the rapper, you're absolutely gonna literally kill yourself if you don't smoke this cigar, or anything that is involving country of origin Cameroon from the Mirafell family farms. I could be wrong in what I'm about to say, but they are a legendary family of tobacco growers in Africa dating back into not decades, but centuries. So that's something to be said. Again, that's wow. Size options. Let me see what it is that I have here. Um, you have the figurado, the bellicoso, the double robusto, um, and I think that yeah, I don't think I wrote down much more than a couple of sizes for this guy. Look, I'm gonna tell you this. This is not a I think I've said this before. This is not a cigar review. This is me sharing with you guys something unique, something amazing, something different that I enjoy, that I look for special cigars for sharing with great company. And that's what I believe that you guys are. On the other side of that camera, you know what? Whether it's one person watching or 100, you're special. I'm not doing a cigar review. I'm not that guy. I've tried it. I don't think I have what it takes to do cigar reviews. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I usually maybe do 3 sentences of notes, maybe four tops. Um, that's basically it. I know that this was one of the highest rated cigars. I got to squint a little bit, cigars done by Cigar Aficionado magazine. I believe this came in at, let me scroll down because see, normally it would be in front of my big screen, right? And I have multiple different things that I can look into. I have my Word document where I have my notes that I can blow it up because I need glasses to see well. And I could do that here, smaller screen. So I got to squint a little bit and scroll. God Almighty, I can't stand this. 97 points, and I think it was among the number, or it was the number one for 2017. Yeah. See, did you see that squinting? Yeah. So yes, number one in 2017, and one of the highest rated cigars ever by Cigar Aficionado. So enough talking about this. We got some fun things to talk about. I'm excited, really, really, to get into the ending up of why something as trivial as not having something as trivial as my main screen breaking down, and then kind of like that brought back the memories of, man, I remember when I had so many problems when I first started, and in those days I had no backups. Now my main screen went down. I got three others. I have a problem with one camera. I have two more. So redundancies. And there's an important lesson in that. I'm gonna um, I'm gonna do this cut. Do whatever you want. You guys have seen me do straight cuts, whatever. This is the V cut. Can you do a V cut on a torpedo? Why not? You can do a V cut on anything. You know why? Because it's your bloody cigar and it's your V cutter. Have at it. Let's see here. Boom, done. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm gonna do that. Look at that. I think you guys will be. Yeah, there it is. Against the white of the shirt. I actually had a question from someone that was sent in to me, and I'm gonna answer right now before going any deeper. So I've been asked, why do I wear a white shirt? Specifically, this is a guayabera. Um, One, I'm Cuban. I love guayaberas. Two, I think that because when I ordered this, I actually ordered it slightly bigger than I wanted it, and it just fits comfortably over almost anything. Like I'm gonna say like a lab coat. I'm gonna say like my working jacket, my kind of signature look shirt, if you will. That's why. And you know what? It's actually, like I said, if I hold something like that against it, You guys are able to see, look right there, the little V cut, right? That's a good idea. Um, I got my coffee, and yes, it's in a Frida Kahlo mug. I'm gonna tell you guys, if anybody else sends me a text on the whole Frida Kahlo, I'm gonna put a big poster of her behind me while I'm doing these things. So Frida Kahlo mug, my coffee in there, super duper excited about it. I'm gonna just take a quick second before really continuing where I left off on, and I'm gonna do this to you guys a lot. I'll have like one, two stories going simultaneously, but I'm gonna take a second. I'm gonna tell you about my good buddy Spencer Squire of Road Dog Coffee, whether it's in a Frida Kahlo mug, in any kind of mug, in any kind of whatever you want to drink it in. Road Dog Coffee is absolutely great. It's a little bit cold right now. It's a hot day, so when I brewed it, I sort of let it sit for a minute, and it's not as hot, but I'm enjoying it. I love my particular favorite is the Black Dog. Is just is full-bodied, robust, great coffee. So I'm gonna stop for a second. I'm also gonna grab my lighter, and I'll be right back. Hey, my friends, are you as much of a coffee lover as I am? 'Cause let me tell you, you are. This one's for the road warriors, the patriots, the everyday heroes who keep this country moving. This is Road Dog Coffee. Let me tell you, we're not here for watered down swill. We're here to stage a full throttle rebellion against bland corporate blends that forgot what real coffee tastes like. At Road Dog, every roast is a rally cry, crafted with purpose, packed with bold flavor, and roasted for the long haul. Our beans are meticulously selected, fired with authenticity, and built to awaken your senses mile after mile. We're more than just a coffee company, we're a family, a movement, a tribute to hardworking Americans who still believe in tradition, grit, and great coffee. Join the rebellion, fuel your journey, and taste what it means to be Road Dog approved. Sign up now for exclusive offers, brewing tips, and bold blends that fuel the American dream. Road Dog Coffee, crafted for the long haul, built for the bold. Okay, so toast this sucker. Let's get it going. Yesterday, actually, I saw my good friend, and I'm gonna tell you guys more about him later. Oscar Rodriguez, literally, telling people, stop it with the whole burning the cigar as you're toasting it. He's right. Look, you don't have to, burn this thing. Just gently toast it. Look, just go around it. Just gently toast it. Um, Straight guy Nick Perdomo. Look, there you go. Two masters of their crafts. Gently toast. You're not burning. This is not burn anything, okay? Don't do that. Gently toast. And then my cigar is never going to be here. It's going to be slightly off, right? Watch. Did you see how close the lighter was to the cigar? Did you see, that I really did not have it at any time, like in front of it or on it? No, you don't need to do that. You don't, because then you complain about this weird charring, this weird taste, this burn. Like well, because you're not welding, you're not creating charcoal in the woods. Okay, so look, another one. Ready? You're gonna know if it needs a little bit more touch up. You're going to. Solid. I'm happy with that. Are you happy with that? It's taking me 17 minutes, so actually 18 minutes to get around to lighting my cigar and enjoying it. But let me backtrack a little bit. The whole story when I started about my monitor not working, and then just looking about me and saying, well, you're blessed. You truly are. You work with enough gear and enough equipment right now that nothing stops. I remember literally year one, 2009, when I was trapeze artist, no net, did not know if anybody was going to catch me or not. Didn't I mean I didn't know what I was doing, but I went for it. There was no protection at all. It was just like, I got this. And I don't want that for anybody. I really don't want that for a single person who has thought about, I want to get into the cigar industry in any of its, ways of working in it, whether you want to be a rep, whether you want to be a lounge owner, whether you want to be a shop owner, whether you want to have your own brand, in whatever way or path you want to travel within this industry, which I adore and I am passionately attached to. Make sure you have backup systems, redundancies, set up a net, call somebody, make sure, hey, I am doing this. Um, I know you're wiser than me because you own the cigar shop. Uh, Traveled around, visit a few. Look, you don't have to travel all over the US. You don't need, if you can and you want to, and you have the flexibility of time, money, and all of the above, by all means, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's fantastic to study different market demographics, areas. All I think it's great. But you can say, you know what? I'm gonna travel around maybe my home state. I'm gonna travel maybe the neighborhood states. Who's north of me, who's south of me, who's to my left, my right. I'm gonna visit locations, and I'm gonna get some takes on them. Look at the small guys. Look at the big guys. Look at grab and goes to membership only lounges. There's so much out there, and if you're able to travel and visit a lot of them, by all means. But I think you can get a good gauge. If you're traveling, let's say 5 different states, contiguous 5 states, and you dedicate anywhere between a couple of months or so, let's say 8 weeks, 10 weeks, to getting that research, that traveling, those visits done, I think you're going to get a good grasp of what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Talk to people, meet some reps, the very same reps that are servicing possibly those same 4 or 5 states are tremendous resources. They'll guide you. They'll say you gotta go visit this location. You must. It's an amazing business, tiny, but they are hustling. They are like just doing it. So that's really awesome. There's tons of research out there that is online. Look it up. I was recently asked, hey man, how's your book selling? How's it doing? I said, great. I haven't even looked. I know I get a check from Amazon and I get a check from Gumroad, and if it's a small check, it's a small check. If it's a big check, it's a big check. It literally, I want to say it like this: if I was doing this for the check, I don't think, ultimately speaking, I would be doing it. I really don't think so, because the money is the end result. It's the what, is what happens. So I got a regular day job. I like what I do. You know, I have great benefits. I have a 401k. I have investments in the market. I'm okay. I think that if I tell you, and I'm gonna say it like this, if I had approached this from that perspective, I want to write a book. so I can get a lot of gigs and I can make money and I can be that guy. Yeah, yeah, no. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, yeah, I think I was that guy to an extent because I was an idiot. I still think of myself as an idiot to this day, but that's okay. It keeps a person grounded, you know, and I think it's more of a fun idiot, right? Um, mm, oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, it's like, I just want to keep puffing, puffing, puffing. Sorry, but yeah, it's like those cigars, right? Like, you're like, a natural inherent sweetness that hits me right here and right here. It's the aging that is awesome. It's that, I mean, it's Cameroon. It's Cameroon, baby. It's Dominican tobacco. It's Don Carlos Sr., rest his soul. I- It is delicious. Not delicious, delicious. And that's why I like sharing something amazing with you guys, right? It's not a cigar review. I would be horrible. I couldn't begin to tell you anything about the cigar, but I'm going to puff a little bit and then I'm going to go right back. 1 second. Wow. Yeah. So I was asked that question. I was down at my local, hangout spot now, which is Casa de Monte Cristo. There's a plug right there. Gotta love them. And somebody asked me, so how's the book doing? Is it happening for you? And I said, yeah. I mean, I looked at him and I was like, it's happening. I love it, which is fine. I'm gonna be doing an advertisement. It's for this week. I'm gonna set it up because I did learn something in that conversation that I wanted to revamp it. I wanted to change it, and I said to myself, "Am I giving enough?" Think about that. Are you giving enough when you do something for the betterment and the good of others? Are you giving enough? So to me, after I finished my meeting with this guy, which again, part of he's seen me, social media, reached out to me. Uh, he drove a few hours to meet with me, so that's I love that. Well, I mean, it showed interest and that he was for real. But he 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 asked me that train of questions regarding the book, and it left me thinking. And the one question that stayed with me that I asked myself was like, am I giving enough? And I don't think I am. I'm asking for more that I'm willing to give. And that's something that I'm going to fix this week. I'm gonna put an advertisement that will let you guys know what it is that I'm willing to give, and it'll balance out, I think, what I'm getting because I'm getting too much. I'm getting too much right now, and that's okay. That's okay. But the problem with that is that it falls within the criteria of, hey man, are you making money with the book? Have you had a lot of big sales and so on? And I thought to myself, I don't think that was the main reason why I wanted to do it. And to go back to last week's conversation on the why, you know, that meeting I had really brought home to me. It is because I have a why. I do. My why is to be able to serve the cigar industry by creating connections that maybe people didn't see, didn't know, didn't understand between services, people, representatives, brands, companies, distribution networks. By doing that, And at the end of the day, if I left them better than when I found them, then I succeeded. And that was my greatest paycheck. So the fact that, yeah, I got a book, I call it the guide, you know, it's a plus. But I think ultimately I did not do it because the book was the most important thing. No, you are the most important thing. The service I can provide you. That is my why. I didn't start saying, I got a book and it's an amazing book. It's got so many great things on it, and it's built to create, connectivity and, bring people together and services together and brands together and, all these things. And, yeah, you should, go get it right now and buy it. That comes across as so, I really don't want to buy it. I really don't. If you look at the cover of my book, if you truly look at the cover of my book, look, it's here. This is actually the first, and I cannot. Is it not for resale? It's got a band on it, right? Not for. It doesn't have a picture of me on the front at all. I mean, it literally says the cigar business blueprints, my name, a step-by-step guide to building a profitable cigar lounge, and then in the back, little itty bitty picture. I think the code is bigger than the picture. That should tell you everything. I didn't do this thing for me. Heck, there's not even a picture of a cigar on the front of the book. It if you don't look at at a glance, you're like, eh. There's no picture of a fancy cigar. There's no picture of a fancy lounge. There's none of that. It's just the title, the cigar business blueprints, you know, and what the guy does. So that's it. So that's the end result product. And if I'm making money, yeah, I make money when it sells. I got no problem with that. It's okay. But ultimately speaking, I began with what I've been learning from an amazing individual that I'm following, and his name is Simon Sinek. If you're not aware of who he is or what he's done, you truly need to dive into it and get his book. Start with Why. He speaks about the golden circles, or much like the golden rule, but the golden circle. I think it's what it is. The format. It's most companies begin with what, how, and why, but the legendary companies that are out there doing it all begin with why, how, and what. And that brings me to the next point. Um, I'm gonna tell you guys right now about a company. I'm gonna tell you with the one I'm starting off with right now. And where is it? Where did I put it? Wait for this. So my guy, Dr. Oscar Rodriguez, remember proper pronunciation at all time, Dr. Oscar Rodriguez of GTO Cigars, sent me this amazing sampler 6 pack, and I'm blown away. I swear to God, I almost got emotional. I have everything in here. I'm gonna take my glasses, off like this for a second. I have the Corona GTOs. Um, I have the, I think, 33 Oaks, which is a branded cigar for the Atlanta market. I have the Mandingas. I mean, I have a little bit of everything here. I haven't even opened it. I don't want to open it yet. I have the Amnesia. Not Amnesia. I'm going crazy. It is the Anesthesia. I mean, so I'm going to tell you something. This is amazing. He is a guy who has the why first, the how, and then the what. That's why his success is insane. That's why his staying power is insane. That's why he does what he does on the level that he does it, at an insane level of love and quality and craftsmanship. So I'm going to take a second and I'm going to tell you a little bit about GTO Dominican Cigars. My friends, did you know that since 1492 the Dominican Republic has been shaped by tobacco? But long before the Spaniards arrived, the Taino people were already using tobacco in ceremony, culture, and celebration. Today, in the heart of the Valle del Cibao, we carry that legacy forward also. Welcome to GTO Dominican Cigars, crafted by hand at Tabacalera GTO Dominicana using first generation Cuban seed tobacco grown in the richest soil in the Caribbean. Every cigar is aged to perfection, blended by the passion of one man, Dr. Oscar Rodriguez, a master of taste and tradition. From smooth, elegant smokes to full bodied powerhouses like the Painkiller, GTO is boutique, it's bold, and it's never rushed. Come discover the soul of the Dominican leaf. One cigar at a time. Remember, those who know smoke GTO. Thank you. Take care and keep it smoky. Okay, we're back. And because I talked so much, my cigar went out. So let me just tap. How do I say this about Oscar Rodriguez? So, Dr. Oscar Rodriguez. When I read about this, the Golden Circle, um, Golden Rule, I need to really figure out which one is which because I know that in the book that I'm reading, Start With Why, it's clearly stated. I was reading that, but then in my mind, I kept thinking that's how Oscar works. His why truly begins straight through the family. He's told me the story about his grandfather, how they arrived, from Cuba to the Dominican Republic, and they just wanted to create amazing cigars, but they also wanted to help people there. They wanted to create, an economy. They wanted to, do for others. So not only did they want to, have amazing cigars, but you need tobacco for that, right? But their why started with helping others. How many families could they help to come together to begin this process of fulfillment of their dream? And from there, the factory, from there, it just snowballed into creating insanely well crafted, well loved cigars. Uh, Oscar one time told me an anecdote that he says, I don't believe in this terminology in this title master, when people are just using it nilly-willy. There are some amazing masters. May he rest in peace, Don Carlos Fuente Sr. You know, and there's a ton of great people alive and who has passed on that they never call themselves masters, or the best at, none of that. I think that that's why I love Oscar's product and why I understand that he's been around for decades. He is a source of tobacco for other larger companies because of the quality of tobacco that is grown in his farms. So think about that when you're smoking some Dominican cigars and when you are smoking boutique cigars from a small factory in the Dominican Republic, you may want to ask yourself, where is that tobacco originally coming from? Where is it being sourced? And I'll tell you something. I'll put money on it that some of that comes from the farms owned by the Rodriguez family, which are amazing, loving, gentle, caring people that are dedicated to their wives. Someone, okay, that was absolutely crazy. As I said at the beginning of the video, technical difficulties and the ability to work them out very, very quickly. I'm gonna just say Gremlins today, maybe Gremlins, right? I don't know, you guys who are probably, professionals with, a studio and podcast equipment that, of course, maybe, 10 times better than mine, ever have to deal with any of this stuff. But thank God for editing, right? Gremlins. So, uh, just to touch back again on what I was saying about Oscar and his family, he built a company that truly was created with the proper understanding of what matters, and what matters is why his family did it, why he does it, why he is continuing to do it. How is through amazing dedication to the land, amazing, dedication to crops, bringing forth fantastic people that truly do know the step-by-step processes that'll get you from that seed to this final smoking product. So the end result, of course, is a great cigar. But when you supersede that with everything else, particularly when you start with a why, that's how you truly get to a great cigar. And to that as well, you got the Fuente family, Chase and their partners, the Newmans. Those are two companies that truly understood why, and there's a lesson in that. Two completely different people, families, but the union of their resources, the union of what their capabilities were, the union of their distribution networks, their union of producing, growing, and just everything overall synergistically brought together by a common why. They both believe in doing something that's legacy oriented. They both believe in doing what is right for their employees first. And here's the thing, if you are dedicated to creating a great cigar, you don't begin by creating a great cigar. You begin by the land, the tobacco, the cultivation, the grow. I mean, just the, it begins there. Having the right people who know that land, who can take care of that tobacco, who can prime the tobacco properly, who can just literally take it the right way, lovingly to the drying barns, and it'll hang there and it'll be attended to and it'll be looked after, and then it goes into the aging and fermentation, and then the separation of the leaves and the quality control. Every single step does not involve you first. It doesn't even involve the cigar first at all those other steps involve amazing, beautiful, humble people, and the good companies. That's their why. They're doing it for them first, because if they are happy, dedicated, 100% focused on creating the best of what they do daily, possibly superseding only themselves, from the day before, then they're going to give you this. The end result, the what? What am I talking about? The cigar. That's why Newmans and Fuentes are such a beautiful synergy as partners, and standalone companies. Of course, they understand your why. They already have the how nailed, and the what is basically, amazing cigars, one right after the other. Do they have some stuff that maybe is not for everybody? Of course. I spoke about, the Yagua, which is done by the Newman family. It didn't hit me in my wheelhouse. It didn't. But they have a ton of other stuff which I love smoking. I like Brick House. I like Perla del Mar. I mean, there's a ton of stuff out there that they produce. I love, the Diamond Crown series. Absolutely, and deeply, madly in love with them. So, and they have like a ton of great stuff. That's to me, I would smoke nonstop. Same thing when you talk about, the Fuente family. Whatever they got, is it a hit across everything? No. I mean, not as much as a dedicated smoker of Fuentes as I am. Somebody just is not for me. That's okay. Mm. guys, ladies, everybody. I mean, you on the other side of this. This is just, just next level, next level. Um, you know, there are other companies that approach it the exact same. You got Padron, 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 not Patron. That was a bit of a slip right there. Padron, same thing. The passion involved so many other things that happened before the end result. They understood the why, created the how process, and the end result was great cigars. You're never gonna go wrong with that. Absolutely never, ever gonna go wrong with a company that puts their why first. It's like this. When you ask, and I saw this the other day, if you ask the principal of a school, what's his greatest responsibility? He's gonna say the children. No, your greatest responsibility is the teachers, and then the teachers will take care of the students. You got to begin that way. You don't interact that deeply on a day to day basis with the students to say ultimately that your greatest responsibility is the students. You will find the best teachers that you're going to, bring into that school that are all about creating, the right teaching methods that show love, caring, understanding to those kids so they can, you know, create amazing students. You know, think about that. I mean, there are teachers that don't interact, you know, for a brief time with students and then they're gone. So if you have a great team of teachers, those teachers will impact that school the right way. That's how it's done. It doesn't, well, I'm going to have perfect students. Well, okay, perfect students. And you're going to look at how. Well, I got to have great teachers. Okay, how? I gotta find great teachers. There's too many hows when you begin with a what. My dedication, my belief, my core is to put together an amazing team of teachers and people that are passionate in the same way as I am. And this is how we're going to go ahead and create curriculums and how we're going to create teaching guides and how we're going to do these amazing programs that will give us awesome students. That's the process, not the other way around. Same thing for cigars. Find the best people, the most dedicated, farmers, the people who truly have studied dirt. They went to school to study dirt. They're passionate about dirt. You know, work with them. Say, hey, man, I need to find the right land. Go out there, find it for me. I need to put together, some amazing teams of people that are going to go in and they're going to nurture these plants. They're going to care for these plants. They're going to, make sure they grow beautiful, robust, that we can, do all the primings necessary, that we can pull the right tobacco at its peak best. Hey, man, you know what? We're going to make sure that, the drying barns are just cared for by loving, dedicated workers that they just want to come here every day and just check and make sure that tobacco is coming along gorgeous, so on and so forth. You know, another great guy, and I'm gonna just no naming because of anything like that, but Steve Saka. Steve Saka is the quintessential epitome of a guy who is a why first. You know, if you ask him, you know, where to begin, to do a great cigar, he's not going to tell you, well, a great cigar, and he's going to say, well, I sourced tobacco from these people because, he's going to tell you origin points that are passionate, that are true, that are real, that are full of respect, and that similar ways of approach to him, he clicked on. He understood. He goes, this guy knows what I want. I want because we're doing it. We're there. He'll sit down and blend correctly, beautifully, because now he has the right tobacco because he started the right way with a why. Why do I want to do this new blend of mi querida? Why do I want to do this brand new blend of, whatever? So he's going to begin with the why. And I assure you, it's not going to be the end result. Well, I want to make money. I mean, everybody in this business wants to make the money, but the money is the end result of a great product. If it's a great product, if it's a great cigar, if it's really something that you nailed it or you hit it out of the ballpark or whatever analogy you want to use, you're gonna make money. You're gonna make money. People when I was asked, like I said earlier, mentioned, hey man, how's my book doing? Are you making money on it? I did not create the cigar business blueprint to make money on it. I created it because I understood that there is a need for someone to service the industry the right way and create connectivity and create lines of communication and bridge gaps that exist between the right people who are like minded, who are passionate, who are dedicated to doing it for the right reasons. They will come up with the house, and the end result are going to be great cigar shops, great cigar lounges, great online services, which of course includes, amazing customer service, of course, on top of that, and great brands. All of these things are going to give you a great end result that will make you money. It that's the end result. The fact that as well, yeah, I have a cigar and it's good and it makes money, but I'm really excited because, in all honesty, it serves a purpose. I have a great cigar lounge, and yes, it does well, but it serves a greater purpose because here people can come, sit down, talk, network, understand each other, that they maybe lived 10 blocks from each other and never knew that by just having a moment here and talking, they're now creating a network of information, a network of productivity, a network of let's get this done. That before that, it didn't happen because you created a cigar lounge for the right reasons. So when you think about what you want to do, nothing wrong with that. Think about it, or what your end result is that you want to accomplish. Again, nothing wrong with that. But you really need to ask yourself the question, why do I want to do it? Truly, this is not about, your why. Your why is from the day you're born, and as you grow up and you figure it out, and when you do, that's who you are. That's your why. That's always been there. But the why in this case is, why do you want to create a product? Why do you want to create a cigar? Why do you want to create a cigar shop? Why do you want to create a cigar lounge? Answer that why honestly, honestly, and I guarantee you that the end result will be greatness. And yes, you will make money. You are going to make money. It's a done deal. Um, I have a fantastic friend of mine, and our friendship, I think, is not as close as he thinks it is, as I make it out to be. His name is Stephen Mann, Steve, and he is the owner of Stogie Hub. What he created there was something that did not exist, did not. He went looking for, I think, a true why. Why hasn't this happened before? Why has this not been done before? He discovered it, absorbed it, began in his analytical mind because he is a bit of a data nerd, and he calls himself that, to understand that there was a opening in this industry that had not been filled, a niche market, if you will. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Stogie Hub. I'm going to take a second. I'm probably going to, let me check on this guy, relight it. and I'll get back and we'll close out this crazy conversation, right? Too many technical problems. I don't know. All right. What a great guy. I love Steven. And like me, I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm gonna remove my Frida Kahlo mug again. Frida Kahlo mug with Road Dog coffee. It's good stuff. Um, no, I'm blocking it again. See, I have a ton. I have like one, two, three, four lighters. I have one, two, three, four cutters. Who in the right mind needs all of that? Right. Talk to Steven. If you're a shop owner, a lounge owner, and you have some excess inventory when it comes to your ashtrays, your humidors, your cutters and lighters that are, just not moving, give him a call, reach out to him. He's going to go ahead and work out a fantastic deal with you guys. Put some money back into your pocket, take that money, flip it, get some great cigars, and everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. And he's someone that I think understood his why. That's why I know he's going to be incredibly successful with Stogie Hub. So, um, love you, man. You're an inspiration. You're awesome. You're an inspiration. I'm gonna get a little fire, fuego to this guy here, and huff and puff for a second. Mm. I always wondered. I mean, I could edit and add a little crazy light up music, right? Just a few seconds while I'm lighting. Bum, ba, bum, ba, something. I just don't pay me no mind. Like I said, I think I'm an idiot. So technical difficulties today have impacted me, but I think because redundancies, backup systems, backup cameras, backup screens, you know, proper preparation in case anything goes wrong allowed me to continue without really, breaking a beat. And I love that. I absolutely love that. To just think about, what I went through when I started in 2009. Good Lord. So that's one of my whys. I want to serve you, my prospective client. I want to serve you. If you just want to pick up, the book and see if any of that clicks with you, fits with you. I want to serve you. If you want to just pick up the phone and call me and say, Duncan, I need to throw some things at you. What do you think? Where am I failing? Where am I succeeding? I want to serve you if you're looking to start your own brand. Sometimes an additional pair of eyes, an additional head, ears, whatever, can see things, experience things that you cannot. So I'm here for you. That's part of my why. I want to serve the industry the right way. I want to create connectivities between people, brands, services, representation, distribution, uh, because I am deeply enamored and I believe so much in this industry. And I believe so much in all the people right now on the other side of this conversation that are listening. And they're saying, I get it. Look, Duncan's a lunatic, but I get it. So, yeah, yeah. And the fact of the matter that I got a book and it sells, fantastic. The fact of the matter that I got a book and if it didn't sell, fantastic. It's behind me. It's not my face on it. It's just a simple title because it is meant for you to understand what it will do. Not what I'm going to do also, but that's the guide. I'm just a guy, who put it together. I'm just a dude that unloaded into that. I said, you know what? This is a guide. This is it. Let's see what happens. And I love that. I truly do. I'm very, very passionate about everything I do. A quick anecdote this week, I had a meeting, in my regular day job, and it was something so, I don't know what I was afraid of, but sometimes, like when you get called by the upper echelons, the executive leads, you kind of think, okay, where are we at now? But I I'm a manic human being that literally I take notes on everything. I document everything. I take pictures of everything that if I'm questioning, I'm taking pictures of it. I go back to it. I research it. I study it. I mean, I do a tremendous amount of CYA lessons that I went through from when I first started in 2009, right? And I went in to the meeting and it was an incredible experience. I loved everything about it. We sat there, there was questions, and at the end, a lot of thank you. That's all. We're good. Appreciated that. And that was it. You know, in hindsight, I think we're all human. We worry. We get a little bit like antsy, about problems or things that we cannot see. If you are doing what you're doing at the level that you're doing it for the right reasons and you understand why you're doing it, don't worry about it. You already did the why. You know how you do it because so that's your how. And the what is quality, baby. It's quality all day, every day. I'm thankful that we've done this. I've got a great chunk of news I'm going to say this week. I'm going to put it out there this week. And it goes back to another meeting I had that was regarding my consulting, and it just opened up my eyes. I don't think I'm giving enough, so I'm going to put something out there. I think you guys are gonna love it. I'm excited about it, so why not? And I'm gonna leave it at that. Just leave it at that. Stay tuned. Next episode. Next episode is gonna be fun. I already have something set aside cigar wise that I'm like, yeah. So, exactly. Next episode is gonna be fun. I hope you watched. I hope you're still with me. In all honesty, I'm so thankful. Like I said, if it's one person watching or if it's 100, thank you, thank you. Maybe this will resonate with you, and if it does, thank you. You on the other side of that, male, female, doesn't matter to me. You're why I did this. You're part of my why. I want to serve you. I want to serve you because you're part of this industry. You're part of this community. You're part of what we are going to build. So thank you always from the bottom of my heart. What a great cigar. Hold on. Mm. Mm. I'm going to use a line from my childhood cartoons back in the 80s from Thundar the Barbarian to describe this cigar. Lords of Light. That's the nerd in me. What a great cigar. What a great cigar. Have a good one. Take care. Have an amazing, amazing week. Be blessed. And as always, smoke something good for God's sakes. Life is too short. All right. Take care.